21 years back, India has witnessed a big war, Kargil War. India and Pakistan army fought in this war in Kargil of Kashmir. Pakistani army infiltrated into Indian territory and Indian army launched an operation called Operation Vijay. To clear this sector, to regain our Kargil.
In this historic war, Indian army lost almost 527 Jawans and 1,363 Jawans were injured. In Kargil war, Indian army brutally defeated the Pakistani armies and we get our Kargil back and safe. That's why July 26 marked as Kargil Vijay Diwas, a victory over Pakistani army. Today when we celebrate the victory and rekindle the pride and valor of the soldiers who took part in the victorious operation, how we forget the brave mother, sister and wife behind them who still give us that boost to every Indian.
So today when we are celebrating the Victorious Day, we have got the brave wife of an armed force man with us, Shyamola Khanna. Let's speak with her about being a wife of an armed force man. Shyamola Di, welcome to our show.
Hi Indrani.
Tell me something about that, how it feels being a wife of an armed force man.
Being the wife of a soldier is never easy. It calls for a lot of reserve strengths within the woman. And let's face it, Indian women I think can do it beautifully because they have that inner strength in them and they are experts at managing a household, managing children in the absence of the father. They are absolutely super in that.
It's 21 years past. So can you share me with some memory related to the Kargil War?
See, the most vivid memory that comes through is about this. There were 2 or 3 incidents that were quite heart-wrenching. Of course, there was the case of squad leader Ahuja being shot down and then mutilated. He was caught in a dogfight and he came down and then he was shot by some of the soldiers and his body was mutilated. And I had just met him 2 days earlier. Because the squadrons were coming and going and every time there would be some bunch of youngsters, oh, we are from 5 squadron, ma'am, we've come to have ice cream, ma'am, we've come to have chai, and they would come and they would sit around and talk and we'd have a good laugh. And I just met him and I was upset. And then we heard Nachi is also not coming back. Nachi has been caught, Nachiketa, squad leader Nachiketa. He's also not coming back. The solitary prisoner of war was Nachiketa.
Now there are women out there whose children are in school and colleges. What would you suggest them? Would you suggest them to go join an army or go for any civil profession?
Yes, join. No, not the army, I would say join the Air Force. The Air Force and the army are always like loggerheads. No. That's between us. That is between us, between the armed forces, not outside. Not outside. In the outside world, we are all armed forces people.
Very true.
We are the armed forces and we have a fraternity of the armed forces wives and we support each other. There's no two ways about that. And in fact, Srinagar was a wonderful example of that, because on the Air Force station we had surplus accommodation, while the army didn't. So it was a very wonderful exchange offer with the army. You can allow your families to come and stay here. It's a beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful feeling that yes, I can stop a soldier on the road if he's in uniform, and I just have to call him, Bhaiya, aap kahan ja rahe ho? If I need help.
And he will call it.
He will stop. He will stop. And I just have to tell him, if he doesn't understand Air Commodore of the Air Force, I just have to tell him Brigadier Khanna from the Air Force. He will understand. And he say, "Haan, madam ji, bolo kya karna hai." That is what the camaraderie is all about. And I'd love the young wives to read my book.
You wrote a book, The Cow in Kargil. So why should we read? What's there in that book? How we get inspired by the book? As a civilian, let us know.
The Cow in Kargil is actually a wife's perspective on being with her husband. And it's not just about Kargil, it's about a whole lifespan. He says, "You've taken me across the country in the first 10 pages. I said, I couldn't help it. That's the way life was. We were in Jamnagar, we were in Srinagar, we were in Bareilly, we were in Delhi, we were all over the country. Then when we were posted to Iraq, from there we took a trip across the world. I have a sister in England, I have a sister in Geneva, so it was like everything together. So that's why you need to read the book. And I would love it if the other Air Force wives would read it, because there is the angst, there are the restrictions, we lived with it all. But to find joy in that is also very important.
So this is Miss Shyamola Khanna. It's really an inspired story of her. ऐसे लोग ही तो है जहाँ पे हम लोगों को एनकरेजमेंट देते हैं आर्मी में जाने के लिए. हम लोग सेलिब्रिटी के पीछे भागते रहते हैं. मैं नहीं बोलती मत भागिए. They are also somebody for us. बट ये लोग असली सेलिब्रिटी है जिनको हम कभी कभी भूल जाते हैं. कब याद आता है? जब चाइना कुछ कर लेते हैं हमारे साथ, पाकिस्तान कुछ करते हैं, घुसपैठिया आ जाते हैं, तब याद आते हैं. मैं उम्मीद करूँगी कि हम लोग इनको कभी नहीं भूलेंगे, इनका सेक्रीफाइस कभी नहीं भूलेंगे. वो ब्रेव सोल्जर्स जिन्होंने सेक्रीफाइस किया है, उनके बाद ये लोग अभी भी सेक्रीफाइस कर रहे हैं लाइफ में. सो मैं इन देवियों को प्रणाम करती हूँ और मैं ये चाहती हूँ कि हम इंडियन हमेशा इस बात का ख्याल रखें कि हमारा भारत महान है और हम लोग अपने भारत के लिए कुछ भी करेंगे.